Hey guys, okay, so I'm actually at home back in the States in Atlanta early. If you've been watching, it's because I had to come home early. All of our classes are online. I had previously recorded this video in Grenada. It came out really long and I realized I didn't give a lot of information, so I figured if I'm gonna make a long Q&A video, at least have a lot of information. So I'm redoing it. I'm gonna try to talk faster, give more information, answer more questions, and I'm gonna answer the questions that I've been asking y'all over the last 2 months, but also questions that I just get asked all the time about vet school, because why not? Because I don't want 10 Q&A videos. So I'm gonna try to answer a lot of stuff. Hopefully it can help y'all if y'all are in undergrad planning to go to vet school, or even fresh out of high school going into undergrad. If you're interested in SGU and you just want to know a little bit more about me and my life in Grenada and at SGU. If you want to skip through this video, I'm kind of dividing it into 3 parts. I'm gonna do kind of general vet school questions, some personal questions, and then some Grenada / SGU questions. So they'll be kind of split, if you kind of divide the video into 3s. But also check in the comments, because I'm gonna have the exact time cards of every question down there to make your life easier, and in case you don't care about me and you just want some general vet school questions. So anyways, now without further ado, gonna answer the questions on my iPad here. So I'm at home and my dad is mowing the lawn, so don't mind. This is my dog Nico. Hey Nico. Hey Nico. So yeah, and also my sister might be bringing my nephew out shortly, but I'm gonna sit here at this highly pollinated table and answer the questions. It's really pretty outside. It's no clouds. Okay, anyways, it's not what this video is about. Okay, I'm actually sitting in the shade, but it's very bright. Okay, and I know how I am. I talk a lot, so I'm gonna try to speed this along. Okay, so I'm gonna start this video off with a vet school question. How was your first experience in vet school? I really didn't understand this question, and what it meant was how was it, because what experience, academic, but I'll take it you mean my first animal experience. So I go to St. George's University in Grenada. One of the things they pride themselves on is getting animal experience right after your first year, or in your first semester. And so my first experience was probably doing a physical exam on a dog. I thought it was really easy because I've worked in small animal clinics and I've watched a vet do it, but to actually do it and be wow, I'm not looking for the doctor advice, I'm doing it now. So that was my first experience, and it was just very rewarding. We also did a physical exam on a horse and cow, and it was just really interesting to realize you're doing what the doctor does. Second question, how's the curriculum? So SGU is my curriculum, and I can also speak on general vet school. So SGU, many of the schools in the States, are AVMA accredited, which means they have to meet certain accreditation statuses. The curriculum is going to differ every vet school you go to, but every vet school has to cover the same basics. At some point, X, Y, and Z has to be taught. So I can't really that would take a whole video in itself about how SGU's curriculum is compared to others. And I take bacteriology term 2, UGA, I think you take it your first semester. I always compare things back to UGA because it's my home state. So I would suggest, if you want to know exact curriculum or an exact class, go to the school you're thinking about going to, go to their website, but also just know wherever you go, you have to pass the NAVLE, so it's going to be kind of the same. So in your opinion, is vet school harder than undergrad? My opinion, no. Some people are going to tell you vet school's hard, med school's hard, all that stuff. I don't think it's hard. I think it's dense content. And I think as long as you stay on top of it, you learn how to time manage and study right, it's not hard. I think it's actually easier than undergrad. I'm doing way better than I ever did in undergrad because I know how to study now. And it's actually something I'm interested in. It's not just chemistry and genetics that's general because you have to get into your secondary school. It's actually what you want to go into your profession for. So in my opinion, it's easier. Biggest fear about vet school, classes, surgery, euthanasia. You don't really do euthanasia, unless maybe in your clinicals. Classes, I think I'm just scared to fail. I'm scared to fall behind, have to decel, what they call it at SGU, and repeat a class and fall behind. Luckily, since I'm in the January class and they have one central graduation, which I'm gonna speak, that's actually one of the questions, I won't fall too far behind, but I just don't want to lengthen my time. I want to get out of school in 4 years. I already had to do the foundations program at SGU, and I call that my extra semester. So that's my biggest fear. It's not any specific class that I'm afraid of, more so am I going to be prepared once I'm out in the field, and am I actually going to retain it? That scares me because of how much we learn. I want to make sure I'm really learning it and it really sticks. Okay, anything loan related, and how do I pay for school? I pay all of my school off of FAFSA, the American Federal Aid. So if you're not American, obviously that doesn't apply to you, but I'm pretty sure your country might have something like that. Canadian students at SGU take out private loans, and so do other international students. So that's how I do it. My parents pay my rent. My dad sends me grocery money like once a month. I also work during breaks, and so like, you know, I save up, but that's pretty much how I pay for school. There are some rich people in my class who their parents and family can afford. My parents work really hard, but like even together with everyone, like we just can't afford that. So loans. That's how most people live. And some people like are a little bit older than me and they live off of loans for everything. So sucks. But yeah, is vet school just like med school? How is it similar or different? This is a whole video in itself, and it's actually a video idea I have, so like maybe look out for that later. But I just say vet school is just like med school, if not more. It's also like pharmacy school, it's also like dental school, it's also like PT school, OT school, and all of that stuff, because we have to do it all. Vets aren't required to specialize like medical doctors are, but like you go to school for 4 years. Vet school is 4 years long. You learn like cardiology, respiratory, pulmonology, oncology, like all the different things, ophthalmology. There are those type of doctors for vets. So, you know, all the diseases that humans get, usually 100% of the time, animals get them too. So it's very similar, but like obviously we're learning separate species. What classes do you have to take in undergrad, and what should you major in? You can major in everything. Not everything, anything. You could major in music or art appreciation. Like you could do any of that as long as you do the prereqs. Obviously, if you do an animal science or biological sciences, it's gonna help a lot because you're gonna take like the undergrad version of a class that you might take in vet school that might help, but it's not required. I personally majored in poultry science, which later got changed to biological sciences, and it helped because you learn like nutrition, reproduction, all of that, but it's not required. And I actually have like a whole video up that like explains like classes and stuff that almost every vet school requires. Should you go in-state or out-of-state? Obviously in-state, because in-state is always going to be like your cheapest option. It's going to leave you with the least amount of debt. And some people say, if I want to do small or large or exotics, where should I go? You have to learn everything at every school. No school is going to just say, oh, you want to be an exotic vet, here, bypass all this course stuff. No, you have to take a license exam on this stuff. It doesn't matter where you go, unless you just are set and, you know, someone persuaded you. I'm telling you, like, it doesn't matter. And if I could do it all over again, I would still choose SGU. But obviously, if I could go to UGA and pay half of the tuition that I'm paying now, I would. But I love my school, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. I get asked a lot, am I vegan? No, I'm not. I will never be vegan or vegetarian. Like, just because I'm a vet and I want to work on animals does not mean that like I'm opposed to eating meat. I am here to like ensure the well-being and welfare of the animals that are used for meat, the quality, but I am not vegan. Never will be. How old are you? How old are most people in your class? I'm like combining like separate questions I get like asked into one, and like demographics. I'm 22. I'm in my second year. I'm 22 years old, so I started vet school at 21. Most people in my class, I'd say, are in their mid to late 20s. We have a few in our 30s, but I also do know classes that have people, you know, past their 40s in their class. I think one of the younger people in my class just turned 21. They started vet school like 1920-ish. So, you know, it just depends. I have to watch my nephew for a split second, so 1 second on this video. Say, hey, DJ. You see them? Show them your little dead dandelion thing? Okay, 1 second. Okay, so I'm back. So I get asked a lot, so do you just learn about dogs and stuff? Like, what do you want to do? Like, no. As a vet, you have to learn a lot more than just dogs. You have to, so like on our NAVLE, you have to be prepared for questions about dogs, cats, horses, cows, maybe small ruminants, which are sheep and goats, pigs and chickens, and fish maybe, and then exotics. So exotics are like reptiles, hamsters, rabbits, birds, like that. If you want to do marine, you know, vet or zoo veterinary, that's something you like specialize in after, but like you have to do a lot more. Not only that, you deal with public safety, you deal with epidemiology. There are vets working with coronavirus right now, even though it's only dealing with humans. And just like food safety, like we're the ones who inspect your meat that goes to the market. We're the ones that look at the cows and the chickens and the pigs on the farm, at the slaughterhouse, and before it goes to the show. So like vets do a lot more than just, you know, your dog is vet, your horse is vet, and stuff like that. We do a lot more behind the scenes stuff with human medicine, pharmaceuticals, and everything. And there's so many job opportunities. Like, I don't have to go work in a clinic. I can go work at a pharmaceutical company. I could develop vaccines, and I mean, honestly, it's endless. You get to do surgery in school. That's what I get a lot of times, like when I tell people that in term 5, and it's like the equivalent of like either the end of your second year, beginning of your third year back in the States, you get to do surgery. There's like a spider web on me. you get to do surgery. So yeah, we're required to do a spay and neuter. Most vet schools do. And then, you know, depending on where you're at, what's available, a lot of times you might get to do other small surgeries. So it's not like in med school where it's like, you know, as the med school student, you're standing back, maybe you get the suture. Like, no, you have to be the lead surgeon and you have to fully castrate a male dog or male cat and fully do an ovarian hysterectomy on a female, and, you know, whatever else comes through. So yes, I will do surgery before I graduate. Do you have to do a residency? I get asked this a lot. No, as a veterinarian, you don't have to do a residency. It's optional. Once I graduate with my DVM, I'm certified to do whatever the heck I want. But if I want to be an ophthalmologist or an ER doctor, an ER vet, oncologist, physical therapist, then yes, I can go get board certified to do those type of things. But it's not required. The one main thing is, and this is for most people that are getting ready to apply to vet school and that are like really teetering, maybe have taken a year off, I get asked, do I think it's worth it compared to all the debt I'll be in after school? And I say yes, because honestly, like, if you're doing what makes you happy, if being a vet is truly your passion, like for me it was, I feel like I came out the womb wanting to be a vet, and I've never deeded from that. I've never like had a backup plan, like that's always what I wanted to do is be a vet. It's worth it because like you live once. And money doesn't make the world go around. You're gonna be stable. Yes, you're not gonna be like busting out 300 to 600K like your MD like counterparts will. And the thing is that vets are very like undermined in society. They don't hold the same stigma that a medical doctor does. Even though we go to the same school, we do the exact same things. We do X-rays, we treat cancer patients, we treat diabetes. You know, we do the whole shebang. But as long as the animal that you're helping is being helped and you have that satisfaction and know that you helped a life, I feel like it's not about what society thinks or what the money that comes. It's what makes you happy and what gives your life purpose and satisfaction. So for me, it's worth it. For some people, it might not be. I know vet suicide rates are going up, but like for me, this is whatever. I could be making 30K or 100K, and this is still the profession I would choose. Okay, I was asked, do I have a job or a side hustle? In vet school, I don't have the time. When I'm on breaks, I work at my job. I love it to death, Cat Care Fed. It's an all-cat clinic. We do see rabbits and exotics, but no dogs, no birds, no reptiles, all like that. It's mostly just cats. I don't have time. I know there's a lot of things with Forex now, people who trade the market. I don't do those things, so pretty much I save up. My parents help me live off loans. Yeah. Are you trying to get a job in Georgia as a vet or somewhere else? California has been my lifelong dream. I've wanted to live in San Diego since I knew San Diego existed when I was 6 years old. Okay, I had to temporarily move this like shebang to the front porch because my dad started cutting grass in the backyard. So to continue that, yeah, I've always wanted to live in San Diego, but I really just don't know anymore because I love my city, Atlanta, and I feel like it's perfect enough to be city, but I don't like the 4 seasons. Like I like the like kind of mild temperature that California has all year round. So I really don't know what kind of medicine do I want to do. I used to always want to be a zoo or exotic vet, but I feel like as time has passed, I find deep satisfaction in talking to people. I don't know if y'all know, I like to talk, and I really want to know, why does it sound like my dad is coming up here now? Oh my goodness. And we're back in the back. So I've always wanted to do like exotics, but now I found deep satisfaction in talking and like doing client education and just like seeing the like client and patient interaction. So I really want to do small animal medicine now. I want to open a clinic, and I really want to do all feline medicine. I want to do acupuncture and maybe like chiropractic. I'm thinking about doing like the acupuncture certification through the Chai Institute. So that's pretty much it. I wouldn't be opposed to doing exotics like rabbits and birds, but like I really like the no dog environment, and I still like dogs, but I think I like that the best. Okay, I'm almost done. Like now I'm getting to my Grenada question. So I got asked, would I move to the Caribbean permanently? Which, no, I would not, but I wouldn't be opposed to owning property, whether I rented that out to like students who are going to SGU, and then I have like an area, you know, for me, or just to have like an island house to come back and visit. I love Grenada, and I love the experience that I've gotten there, and I want to give back. Like I said earlier, I've never wanted kids. But and if you know anything about me, I've never wanted kids, but like I've always said before my life is over, I want to adopt. And it's one of those things, like I wouldn't be opposed to coming back and like adopting a child from Grenada, or like something my nana, my dad's mom, she used to be a Spanish teacher, and she was a principal, but while she was a Spanish teacher, she used to go to Mexico, and she made a good friend, you know, over the years. I think she went close to almost 20 years, like bringing students over there. And she made a good friend, and, you know, she promised him she would help him get to the States and everything. He always wanted to go there, you know, like better life for him and his family. And eventually she found a way to get them over there. And there was a lady that I met at the O-Home clinic that I went to last semester that I made a video about. she told me how she always wanted to go into vet, work with animals, but she just never did. She had kids, she wanted to go to the States, never been. And then I just never got her information. But it seems like that if I could like find her information once I was set and I had a clinic, I would hire her. And those are the things like I want to be able to give back to the Caribbean even if I'm not here. Like I asked, do you miss the States? And when I recorded this video, I was technically in Grenada, and I have mixed feelings about that. I miss the food, I miss the convenience. I can't run to Walmart at midnight if I need something. I can't run out. It's like 10 o'clock and I want to just go like grab Chipotle as it's closing. I miss the convenience and all the food options. Of course I miss my family, but I really like being in Grenada better. Like I'm happy. I feel like I can be myself. I'm with my girlfriend obviously, so I miss it, but like I appreciate the breaks. And that was one thing that set me between here and Ross, was that I get breaks, but when I'm there, I like being there. What's one thing you didn't expect or know upon arriving to SGU? I wasn't prepared for like the culture shock of being in Grenada. I also didn't prepare like SGU, like even though they like advertise it as a vet and medical like US school, it's still like the Caribbean administration. Like obviously they have New York administration that's American, but the school there is Caribbean, so it's like a lot of things that are very like laid back and stuff. I didn't expect that or know. And I didn't like know how big the med school was compared to the vet school, but that's doesn't matter. You all intermingle and everything. What's one negative thing regarding SGU? Can't be about distance or being away from family. I don't like that some things are like slow to get answered and like slow to like be resolved. And I don't like that it seems like there's more and more students coming, not necessarily resource and housing available. And I don't like that like I feel like there's more apartments being built that no American students will just pay for it, and they're like super expensive. Like granted, my apartment that I pay rent for is $500, but I know like any new apartment you're going to be paying at least $1,000 or more, sometimes for like a tinier space than what I have for my $500 apartment. So I just don't like that. I know like the Caribbean schools have like a bad stigma, like, oh, you go to the Caribbean, blah blah blah, like you obviously weren't good enough for the States. And so I don't like that stigma that SGU carries with it, but I feel like more people are starting to consider Caribbean schools as their first choice or in their initial like application pool. So I do like that. Is there anything I would have done different knowing what you know now about Grenada, like housing, things not to bring, etc.? I think I didn't know about housing so much. I would have looked for a little bit more modern place, but I really like my place. I feel like would have brought more and been prepared, especially like moving my pets and everything. And that's just why I make these videos, to like help educate other people coming after me. But I don't think I would have done that much differently. Like I'm an over-prepared person and I like organization and planning. So I feel like I made sure to like have everything that I could possibly need down there. Favorite and least favorite thing about living in Grenada? Favorite thing has to be the views that I get, the sunsets, the beach, the rainbows, like all of that. Obviously having my girlfriend there, I met like my girlfriend like in vet school, she's in med school, but like that just helps, because like having like your best friend and the person like you're intimate with right there, knowing what you're going through and right beside you, it's just like helpful. Like when we're stressed, we can come to each other and we both understand what the other person is going through. Least favorite thing, I just say convenience, and that's just me being born and raised in America. I'm used to convenience. I'm used to malls. I'm used to restaurants everywhere. I'm used to like highways. Like I miss my home, How do clinicals and graduations work if you start in the January class? So when you start in January class, there's only one graduation and it's in June every year. It's in New York for the vet and med school. So for me, I know all the med school stuff, but I'm just going to speak on vet school because that's what this video is about. If you start in January, you'll start your rotations in January. So like for me, I'll start my rotations in January 22, go all the way till early January 23. I get my diploma January 31st, beginning of February. But then I will be, as long as I've taken that NAVLE back in November, I'll be certified, I'll be ready to practice. I just won't have the graduation ceremony until June if I choose to go to it. As far as where you go for clinicals, at the beginning of your term 5, which is your first semester of your third year, you put down your top 4 schools. SGU usually guarantees like a 99% match rate with either your first or your second choice. And so this is not a residency. This is for your clinical rotation. So if you went to Auburn, for example, you would do all your basic sciences and your rotations at Auburn. But here, we get to go anywhere in the States, a few schools in Canada or the UK, and you get to put them down in your order. They meet with you. It's based solely off of your GPA, and then bam, you go there, you follow their rotations. Most of the time you track small or large animal just like you would in the state, and then you graduate with your degree. You pay SGU's tuition, not your in-state, not that state, so it's like that. And yeah, what do I love about the curriculum? I love that you get so much hands-on every semester for the most part. I think there's only one semester where you like don't get that much, but I like that because every time, like, I can't tell you how many times I've had to do an exam on a dog, horse, and a cow, but I'm each time I do it, I get more and more confident. And there's people from all different backgrounds that have experience with one animal and not the other, so I feel like it just kind of catches everyone up to speed, and they're really good about like giving you hands-on experience of what you'll actually be doing in the clinic and in your practice. So that's pretty much it, what I have for this. Hope this isn't too long, and if it is, that's why I have the time cards at the end. And if you watch all the way to the end, you are wonderful, because I know most people don't, and I'm guilty of it. I don't watch through every YouTube video, I skip through. But anyways, if you have any other questions, if you would like me to like elaborate on anything, make this even more specific, or go into details on one specific thing about my vet school experience, my undergrad experience, any of that, my experience in Grenada or SGU, like most of my videos are about Grenada and SGU, but I do want to help vet students like and vet applicants out there alike. So, you know, feel free to message me on my Facebook or my Instagram, not slide into my DMs, only for truthful questions. But yeah, so until next time, be sure to like, subscribe, all of that stuff. Check out my social media, message me with questions, and until next time.